Thank you. Appreciate it. All right, I hope everyone took a break, had some coffee. This is only 10 minutes, so we're gonna go really, really fast. Real quick, my name's Nathan James. I'm head of product management as well as partnerships at Planet DDS. We are the guys behind Denticon, Cloud9, as well as the Aptrix imaging platform. We integrate with Overjet, Vidya, Pearl, you name it, Cephx, etc. Enough about me. I wanna talk for just a second and kind of reiterate some of the things that have already been said this morning. Primarily, we have a problem. We have a problem in the dental industry when it comes to revenue, and all over the place. We're trying to figure out how are we going to grow top line outside of just buying new practices, and how are we going to improve bottom line by driving optimization when maybe the payers aren't necessarily trying to help us out, okay? We've all seen these different things, and there's others. I think Brian did a good job this morning talking about some of the economic issues, and frankly, DSOs are feeling the squeeze. Well, I want to spend just a second and talk about where rubber meets the road with AI and some opportunities for you guys at the DSO level to really start thinking about how do we drive that bottom line efficiency by leveraging all of these different AI technologies. All right, Confucius says in order to predict the future, or in order to create the future, you first have to look at the past. That's what we're going to start off with. If anybody is familiar with scientific management from Taylor, one of the guys that helped really get Ford up off the ground, he said this. In the past, man has been first. In the future, the system must be first. The work of every man is fully planned out by the management, and each man is trained to do small tasks in the best way. In this way, men of small caliber and attainment can be employed, and higher wages can be paid with lower labor costs. Guys, that was 1911, okay? This is a whole different industry. This was the manufacturing industry, but this is really what has driven, to a large extent, the concept of production at scale and labor arbitrage over the last 100 years. But we're on the precipice of a whole new opportunity when it comes to labor arbitrage, following the same model. So real quick, we'll just jump through a couple of these. Has anybody seen the Optimus robot from Tesla? Kind of interesting. A picture of them, of Elon Musk here talks about there will come a point when nobody needs a job. You can have a job if you want it, but AI will be able to do everything. This is the Optimus robot giving drinks here within the last, I think, 12 months. What's interesting is this isn't new. The same thing happened not on the AI front, but in the manufacturing front. This is the very first autonomous robotic arm passing out drinks to its founders in 1954. See, we've seen this revolution before, right? This was the very first Unimation arm that's now, this type of automation is employed across manufacturing. You will not go into a large manufacturing plant, think car manufacturers. You won't go into one of those where they're all doing it by hand unless it's some bespoke group over in Europe. But most of them are all using automation to drive labor arbitrage. Now with the invention of AI, we're at that same interesting turning point in our industry. You guys have seen it, right? In the dental industry, we're literally taking machines and automating them, putting them in practices, and allowing you to do it yourself. It's pretty amazing. But let's talk about AI. National Bureau of Economic Research, this was just a couple of months ago, back in June, said this. We document that automation has raised wages and reduced employment in occupation where it eliminates inexpert tasks. Now we're going to make this as confusing as possible, but it lowered wages and increased employment in occupations where it eliminated expert tasks. Look to the right side. Essentially, it's saying it's kind of this weird 50-50 that we're seeing. Where we create automation, it changes the economics of employment. Where we change the economics of employment, it creates some some interesting wage dynamics. But what we're seeing with AI is kind of the best of both worlds when employed correctly. We're seeing both the ability to hire fewer people as well as drive down skilled labor costs because some of the AI can take on some of that nuance and that skill. Now, we've all probably seen this. If you've been looking into AI at all, McKinsey & Company calls it the AI paradox. Nearly 8 in 10 companies report using Gen AI, yet just as many report no significant bottom line impact. This is the challenge. Now, I do want to point out one critical point here. Gen AI is different than agentic AI. We're going to get to that in just a second. Gen AI is like ChatGPT. You ask it to create you a story or a song, and it can do it. That's very different than agentic AI, where you ask it to go and accomplish a goal, do a task, okay? But for Gen AI, the AI paradox is real. Now, McKinsey and Company in that same study says AI agents offer a way to break out of this Gen AI paradox. That's because agents have the potential to automate complex business processes, combine autonomy, planning, memory, and integration to shift Gen AI from a reactive tool to a proactive, goal-driven virtual collaborator. It's really interesting, really interesting. I'm going to keep jumping through this. This is kind of the timeline of what we're seeing on the AI front, and what's amazing is this has all happened within like 3 years, right? You have Gen AI with, everybody's been playing with ChatGPT. That moved to multimodal AI. Okay, that's the ability to not just generate text, but generate images and videos. By the way, OpenAI just announced they're building their first full-length feature film. Can't wait to see that one. Then it moved to AI agents, where you tell an agent to go do something, but amazingly, we're already beyond that. We're now to agentic meshes. This is where multiple agents are interacting amongst each other to accomplish a bigger goal or a bigger task. This is fantastic and phenomenal. And when we start thinking about a PMS as kind of that central data hub that has the opportunity to do a hub and spoke model where they integrate with a bunch of other systems, now all of a sudden we start seeing an interesting opportunity where all these different AI vendors and AI systems can integrate across the ecosystem to do incredible things. All right, early results. MIT just published a study, said despite the rush of integrated powerful new models, only about 5% of AI programs achieve rapid revenue acceleration. You could look at this and say, well, that means 95% of them failed. But remember, we're in the early days. Look at this as a glass half full, okay? 5% of these have already succeeded and delivered significant ROI. Now, EY says a remarkable 97% of senior leaders whose organizations are investing in AI are seeing positive ROI from AI across the business functions, while nearly every senior leader says AI is paying off. The real gain goes to those who go big. In other words, those who are committing, those who are going in, those who are exploring, those who are trying are starting to find some really interesting labor arbitrage opportunities. Here's some examples of success in the medical industry. Now, this is a little bit small. It's a lot of context on the screen. We will be sending this PDF out afterwards, so feel free to go and look these up and check them out. But I'll just hit on a couple of them. Mass General in Birmingham said physicians needed 60% less time on documentation when they published their documentation assistant. A multi-special med practice that didn't give their name said from an RCM agent's perspective, their administrative costs per claim fell from $8.12 to $4.76. That's real dollars, okay? That's real dollars. That's labor arbitrage via AI. I'm just going to jump to the end real quick. This one was really interesting. This was through a study at Cornell University. They launched a virtual urgent care diagnosis test. 81% concordance in primary diagnosis with clinicians. In other words, when an agent did the diagnosis, 81% alignment. Okay, well, it feels like there's a little bit of margin for error there, but read the next statement. 99% alignment on treatment plans, and in cases where there was a discrepancy, AI outperformed clinicians 36% of the time. We're not quite ready by any means, or even in the next year or two, ready to replace doctors. But absolutely, we can start looking at lower labor opportunities and figuring out how we can implement AI to drive some labor arbitrage. Okay, your path to success. So what does this look like? And I know I'm going fast. I appreciate you guys keeping up. Number one, it is about AI partners. You have some of them around the room. There are lots more entering into the market every single day. There are a lot of mature brands like Planet DDS that are investing heavily in AI. And the goal is for you guys to find the right ecosystem for that interoperability where it can all work together to drive meaningful results for you. Solidify your AI partners, build your roadmap, and align your budget. Now, another interesting statement from Ernst & Young, they said this: organizations investing 5% or more of their total budget on AI are pulling ahead fast, especially in these specific areas. So ask yourselves, as a DSO, what does your budget look like? Are you dabbling? Are you putting less than 1% into your AI future? Are you putting less than 1% and then hoping for a return on investment? Are you going big? Are you really figuring out how we're going to drive meaningful impact and revenue cost savings, revenue opportunities for your organization? OpenAI says this: you need 3 things in order for an agentic system to work. You need the model, like ChatGPT-5. You need tools. Tools are the data, the API, the integrations. Then you need instructions. You have to be able to go and tell the agent to go and accomplish things using those tools and using the model, okay? So what tools do you need? Well, You got to pick the right partner. Number two, you got to pick a partner that has data access. You've heard from many people on the stage today about interoperability. That's the key here, okay? There are a lot of siloed tools that work in their own right, and that's fine, but at the end of the day, the only way that this is really going to work 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now is going to be the systems that have all integrated together, and instead of having a bunch of bolt-on applications, you have built-in integrations, built-in. All right, I've been told to stop. All right, here we go. Well, like I said, my name's Nathan. Very excited about more of the stuff that we're building here at Planet DDS. We are building some of our own agents on the scheduling and RCM side. We're also integrating with pretty much everybody in the room. So really, you can bring your own bot, you can build your own bot, or you can use some of the integrated functionality. Appreciate the time today, guys. I hope you have a great rest of the day.